Hey, it's Island Punk. Welcome back to GenX-Xpat. A lot of us pack up our entire lives, sell everything, and cross the globe, thinking a new time zone will magically cure our old problems. We think paradise is an escape. But here is the hard truth of the expat trail. Wherever you go, there you are. And if you bring your digital ghosts, your outrage, and your doom scrolling habits with you across the ocean, you'll ruin the very paradise you have traded everything to find. Today, we're talking about how to stop the algorithmic zombie from eating your brain and how the system is rigged to hijack your peace of mind, and the exact exit strategy you need to live the free life you moved for. So let's dive in. I'm on location today at an outdoor cafe here in Mauritius called the Lemon Tree. Now, Mauritius has the greatest all-time hits package of turquoise beaches, incredible people, a mosaic of cultures and religions. But there's another resident here that absolutely blows my mind. Look at this tree above me. It's either a banyan or a strangler fig. They're cousins. I can't tell them apart. This thing looks like it's a century and a half old. See how the roots hang down like heavy suspended ropes over an ancient stage. Yes, sunlight filters through this massive canopy, and if you sit quietly enough, it feels like the tree is whispering secrets from centuries ago. Every root and vine forms this grand, resilient architecture, claiming its space, touching the earth, telling a quiet story of survival. As a Gen X kid, my first instinct when I see a tree like this, and I want to climb it. I'm betting you do too. We grew up creating our own adventures, right? We didn't have a screen telling us how to play. We watched Wonder Woman, Superman, Charlie's Angels, Chips, and the Dukes of Hazzard. And then we immediately ran out into the backyard or the playground to reenact them. Those shows gave us the basic plot lines, but we were the directors of our fun. We had agency. If you're new to the channel, a quick recap. I'm a retired teacher. When I hit 58, I looked at the political circus of the 2024 election and said enough. I sold everything and moved from Alaska to this beautiful island nation off the coast of Africa. I took early retirement to write books, run my daily Substack journal, and talk about us. So all of the links are below. Please like and subscribe. But lately I've been thinking about how our generation transitioned from being completely untethered latchkey kids to being digitally leashed. Think about it. Gen X grew up with color TV. Our earliest babysitters were Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street, or The Little Rascals, going way back to black and white. And if you were lucky, you had early MTV or late night HBO horror movies. And as we grew up and started our own families, cable took over. We watched long, drawn out cultural spectacles. Remember the O.J. Simpson trial? I watched that completely. Our sitcoms turned into dark crime dramas. Daytime soap operas morphed into self-improvement marathons with Oprah. And TV was the background radiation of our lives. Morning news with the coffee, after school cartoons and programs, and then family sitcoms at night. And you know what else a lot of us did while we were watching TV? We smoked cigarettes. Many of us still do. Fun fact, I see people smoking cigarettes all the time while riding their scooters. So personally, my nicotine habit is permanently on hold for now, but I know the score. I can pick it back up whenever I want and pay the financial and physical price. It's an addiction, but at least it's a straightforward addiction. Social media, though, that's a whole different animal. We migrated from the TV screen to the smartphone screen without realizing the new screen was playing a psychological addiction game with us. No, against us. At first, it seemed innocent. We just traded TV commercials or boring plot points for a quick scroll on Facebook. But look at us now. We're online all day, every day. And I admit it, some days I am a total zombie, a slow drip drug into my brain. Too much makes you sick, not enough makes you anxious. Cut it off entirely and you feel completely off balance. There's a comedian I watch, Barry's Economics, who nailed the metaphor. He calls social media a zombie. Social media a zombie. It lures us in. It doesn't think. It doesn't produce anything of value. Its only goal is to keep us staring blankly into the void while it feeds on our brain. What a disgusting thought. And man, what a compelling trap that is. It feeds our outrage about what's happening in our country. It hooks us with art and history and comedy. Or it gives us instant answers on how to fix a carburetor or buy a house. Now look, I don't have TikTok or Instagram or I don't know what else everybody else is doing. I have YouTube. But that doesn't mean I'm not immune. I've fallen absolutely for the lure and let the zombie feast on my brain for days. What? You don't like the zombie metaphor? Too bad. Maybe you don't like it because you don't want to admit you're being lured. You want to believe you're in total control. The idea of a corporate algorithm eating your gray matter while you smile and click like is uncomfortable. Too bad. It's an honest assessment. Because this isn't an accident, it's engineered. There's an organization called the Center for Humane Technology, founded by an ex-Google executive. They're the guys behind the Social Dilemma documentary on Netflix. Their research proves that tech companies are locked into a race to the bottom of the brainstem. They're appealing to our intellect. They're not appealing to our intellect. They are exploiting our vulnerabilities. Features like the infinite scroll and red dot notifications intentionally build to hijack our dopamine loops. These platforms don't profit from the truth, mental health, or community building. They profit off engagement. You know what drives engagement: outrage, polarization, and fear. What used to be watching the evening news has morphed into a system that scrambles our brain with emotionally charged content designed to make O.J. Simpson trial look like a boring Sunday drive with grandma. Or the worst part, our attention is enriching a billionaire class that doesn't give a fuck about our well-being. Just like I loathe the tobacco corporations for hooking us on cigarettes, I despise the tech giants using advanced psychology to hijack our minds. So how do we get out of this trap? How do we survive this zombie? First rule of psychology: sitting around telling yourself not to do a thing just makes you want to do that thing more. If you sit on the porch staring at your phone, reminding yourself not to open an app, you've already lost. If you know a zombie is waiting for you in a certain alleyway, you don't walk down that alley. You change your route. The tech experts talk about a few main schools of thought for dealing with the zombie. First, you've heard about it, the digital detox. It's a complete abstinence for a week or a month to reset your brain's chemistry. It works, but let's be real, it's tough to sustain long term because the modern world demands you to be connected. Then there's mindful use. That's what I use most of the time. Setting hard limits, turning off notifications, and using the internet like a tool rather than a pastime. This takes serious ironclad discipline. And then, absolutely my favorite, is behavioral substitution. This is the golden ticket for the expat. You replace screen time with real world activities, like maybe climbing this tree. You have to build a circuit breaker into your day. When you feel the urge to mindlessly scroll, you put a hard stop on the impulse. You ask yourself, am I going to join the mindless horde today, or am I going to be a survivor and do something else? Fill your schedule with real life, like riding a bike or a scooter or a motorcycle, explore a trail, learn a language, go talk to a neighbor. Fuck, just take a nap. Just don't default to the screen. You move from the world experience to a bigger, wider reality, not to look at the same 6-inch piece of glass. Look, I'm not thrilled with how easily I adapted to the digital leash, and based on comments I get from you guys, you aren't either. But remember that banyan tree we started with? Yeah, it grows by dropping roots down from above, anchoring itself to the earth, and standing resilient against the elements. It builds its own world, and it strangles its host tree to death eventually. If this resonated with you, do the usual internet chores for me. Hit subscribe, drop a comment below, and share this with another Gen Xer who needs a wake-up call. If you want to support my work directly, you can buy me a coffee via the link below, or head over to my Substack journal where I post daily reflections on building a life of mental wealth out here in paradise or anywhere. Until next time, Gen X and expats, lead, follow, or get out of the way.